Hi guys, PJ here. Today I'm working on a 2009 Toyota RAV4. We're going to replace the original radio here on this particular vehicle, and for that we're going to need a fitting kit, so let's get straight into it. Fitting kit for this particular vehicle, CT23TY02, and that's made by Connect2. You can get this from most car shops, eBay, Amazon, anywhere like that should be your go-to place. We've also got a DAB aerial because, like most radios nowadays, it doesn't come with one. This is a screen mount one, so it sticks near the A pillar, sticks on the window screen, and the wire is powered. So we've got a DAB antenna connector and a wire that you connect to the blue output of your aftermarket radio. We also have Connect2 steering wheel control interface here because the steering wheel has volume on it and things like that. So this particular part number is... This is having a Sony XAV AX1005DB, which is a Sony touchscreen radio with CarPlay. I think we've got the CarPlay here, yeah. Made for iPhone, works with Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth, DAB+, etc. Nice row of features on it. Got a full review of this radio elsewhere on YouTube, so just have a quick search for that if you want a look at the actual radio itself. So without further ado, let's get on with removing the original radio. First thing to do is get yourself a plastic leverage tool. These are available Amazon, eBay, car shops. I always say that. You've got to get one of these. If you use a screwdriver, you're going to put horrible dints in the trim and make a right mess. So don't use a screwdriver, don't use anything metal. I know it's common sense, but the amount of people I see, even to be honest, training in the trade that will get a screwdriver under it is just shocking. So get yourself one of these and then pop it underneath, yeah, and just twist. You heard that pop. There we go. It's on literally plastic little legs that hold it in, and what we're going to do is going to go around it, pop that cover off, do the same on the alternate side, pop that cover off. If your covers pop forward, you can see the little plastic spring clips that they're on there, so they do pop off quite easily. They come from these holes here. This uncovers some 10mm bolts that you need to undo. There's two each side. There's one there and one there, same on the other side. So you're going to need your 10mm ratchet. If you don't want to lose the nut, the bolt rather, down to the abyss, because as you can see it could fall all the way down there, pop a bit of electrical tape in the end of your socket and it'll sort of stick it to the end of the bolt to pull it out, like so. And then you just literally shove it over it. It's either that or magnetic sockets, but they're not that common. So just undo them, like I say, make sure they don't drop down, take them all out and put them safely to one side. With your bolts out, you can now look at easing the thing out, but before you do that, I recommend you put like a thick duster or some cardboard over your trim, over your gear knob, etc. The back of this is all steel and it's pretty weighty for a radio, so when it pulls forward you don't want it scratching down all your dashboard and making a mess. So a bit of preparation, just cover it all over, support it with one hand and pull forward. It's a bit of a beast, so when you've got it forward in your hand, obviously you can then unplug the connectors from the rear of it. Once you've pulled it forward, you're greeted with these connectors. Basically the case of pinch them and pull and they will come out. All of them are on the same principle. They've got a button at the top, pinch it and pull on every single one. The aerial is a straightforward bayonet fit, so it's just pull it out. With the radio out and everything unplugged, nice big area there to work on, we can take a look at the fitting kit and what's in it. So we have a edge trim around the radio, a replacement cage because the cage is a different height. The ones that come with the radios, the cages that come with them are 113mm for a double din. This is 103mm, a little bit slimmer, but it still fits fine. The original ones that come with the radio have like a bump inside them that takes up the extra space. These are just straightforward smooth, as you can see. The brackets there, you screw onto the side of the new radio and basically you line them up so the front of the radio sits just nice. Because your main part is this, that way around. There we go. They're available in different colours, guys, so make sure you order the right colour for your vehicle. But that clips on where the old sort of radio fascia would be and converts it into a normal double din size hole, which is nice and easy, very straightforward to do. So without further ado, I'm going to crack on fitting the double din aerial to the windscreen and running the cable from that down the windscreen pillar and under the footwell up into the radio hole. Just want to quickly show you the cabling for the aerial. There's the aerial stuck on the window screen lot. This is your cabling. The only reason I'm here, guys, I mean, when you pop this off and it literally just pops forward like that, you get some little clips. Make sure your cable goes behind the airbag. There's the airbag. Yeah, there's a big gap there. Look, you can literally put your finger all the way through. So pop your cabling down behind the airbag and all the way down the pillar to the glove box area. That's all the cabling run down the screen pillar, under the dashboard, there's like a plastic trim under your glove box, right under here. It's got 2 clips that you push in and it pops down. You can then run your cabling along, put your hand down, grab your cabling, pull it up here, and then put your trim back on to hold all the cabling up. The third wire that you see here is the microphone, because this particular vehicle that's having the radio fitted is having a Bluetooth one, so it needs a mic. There's the jack for it. The microphone's up by the rear view mirror and the cable's tucked out of the way into the headlining. So what you need to do is grab your old radio and pop off these yellow clips. Now they normally just pop off with a screwdriver. Do it with you know, something nearby. They do ping off sometimes, so you don't want to lose one of them. Pop both of them off, and when you've done that, get your trim that you've ordered and pop them on to those. So in other words, yeah, yellow bit going on there so that it clicks in. So both yellow bits off, both yellow bits on the trim, then you put your trim in. Quick update, everything's plugged in. There you go, you got all your adapter wires plugged in. You got the little spare one there we don't use, pop that out of the way so it doesn't get trapped on anything. Tuck it right down. Coming further down, you got the little interface there that runs your steering controls with its patch lead on. Now the patch leads are universal, so they run all different brands of radio. Okay, Sony, Pioneer, a couple of others use a jack plug, so you just plug the thing in and it works. Others use a individual wire, so Kenwood for example use a brown wire, and you have to basically chop the brown wire and splice it into this. Okay, and then there's some hoops of wire that you can see there. See those 3 hoops? Sony's, as an example like this one, you leave all 3 hoops intact. On other brands it will tell you to cut or break the connection on 1, 2 or 3 of them. So in other words, get a little instruction manual like so, and there's Sony, it says 111, so you leave all the hoops intact. Kenwood on the other hand, you would cut the orange, the green and leave purple intact. So they are truly universal, which is quite a handy thing to have. There you go, so that's ready to go. I'm going to plug that in last. I'm just going to quickly tell you about these bits that I've done. Blue wire there is spliced and chopped into the DAB antenna power cable that I was on about earlier. This is a powered DAB antenna. A lot of them are not, so you may well not have this cable. This will all be loomed up nicely or heat shrinked up, so it's all nice and tidy. Nothing can get trapped that way. The other wire I'm going to point out, which if you've ever watched any of my touchscreen videos in the past, is this one. This green wire here is basically a handbrake, a parking brake cable, and it's so that you can't watch the screen while you're driving along, because obviously it's classed as dangerous driving. So they want you to connect this to your handbrake so that you can only view it when the handbrake on the vehicle is on. A lot of people request this to be bypassed. You know, that's up to them, you know, how they use it sort of thing. To do it, all you've got to do is connect it to an earth, guys. Snip your earth, bullet connector, solder, whatever, and crimp in this wire to your black earth cable, and that will bypass the handbrake requirement completely and cause no problems whatsoever. So we're going to loom all this up now, and we're going to look at putting the brackets, these things, on the side of the radio and lining it all up, because our fascia is nicely clipped in, look, and right colour, sits nicely. It's actually a really good fit. Some of these are a bit iffy. I've seen some of the cheaper ones that people have ordered from various places, and you know, they're terrible. So good quality, that one does fit very, very well. So, moving on. With your side brackets installed, now is a good time to give the radio a quick test. So, pop all your connections into the back of it, loosely fit it. Yeah, so you can see this one here is loosely fitted. There's the brackets, look, that I was on about. Screwed onto the side. Yeah, nice and straightforward. The edge of the gold bit there lines up with the edge of the black on this particular radio, so it's going to have a nice flush fit when the surround's on. The surround, by the way, is the one that comes with the kit, not the one that comes with the radio, okay? That fits over it, but basically we quickly tune a radio station in, make sure it saves it, etc. As long as it does all that, you can turn your ignition off and then carefully tuck the radio back, making sure you've trapped no wires behind it or anything like that. Make sure they're all tucked down, and then it's just reassembly with the side bits and the other bits and bobs. And there's what it looks like when it's fully clipped in. I'm sure you'll agree it's a very smart looking setup. This trim fits really well, is the right colour and everything. Nice looking setup. As for the radio itself, no guys, I won't be playing you any music on it for various reasons. One, because you're listening through, you know, whatever device you're listening through, so it sounds nothing like what it sounds like in this particular car. Two, because YouTube give copyright strikes, and you know, I get in trouble for those. So no audio. So a lot of people do say, oh, you didn't play any music on it. No point. You'll be listening on your phone, your computer, or whatever. It won't sound the same. But rest assured, it does work, looks nice. That is a fit a radio in one of these particular vehicles. Thanks a lot for watching, and bye for now.